Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018. This match is going to be a best of 3 match between IMRaziel and Mattermonkey. It's in the round of 16, so whoever turns out victorious in this best of 3 match will make it into the quarterfinals. On commentary today, my name is Sparek and I am joined by Grimmaticos.
Yo. How's everyone doing today? As Spark said, this is best of 3, although only the first 2 games are scheduled for today. If a third match is required, meaning if they go 1-1, the third match will be on Wednesday, but we'll cover that bridge when we get there. Otherwise, what can you tell me about these 2 players, Spark?
First of all, you can see the little number there to the left of IMRaziel. It's a 3. That basically means that with the qualification for the brackets, he turned out to make 3rd place. And it's kind of an indication of what caliber of a runner IMRaziel is. He is pretty scary because he's pretty good at the game executional-wise and then also just randomizer-wise. So he's going to be a pretty scary opponent for Mattermonkey.
Yeah, that said, and not to disrespect IMRaziel, who is, as you said, an extremely talented player, but the seedings, that 3 versus 19, it does matter. It's not meaningless. Like, gun to my head, I would probably choose IMRaziel to win this. But the seedings were done based on 5 rounds of randomized Swiss. So they're not as meaningful as something like a traditional all-skill speedrun. What I'm trying to say is that don't let the 3 versus 19 fool you. This could still be very, very close.
Especially one thing we haven't mentioned is that Mattermonkey is kind of a randomizer expert, you could almost say. He's really playing randomizer a lot. So he knows all of the strats that would be possible here. And like you said, Grimmaticos, it's a randomizer. So really anything can happen depending on how the routing turns out for our runners here.
Yeah, Mattermonkey over on the right, IMRaziel on the left. I like that Matter's just sort of letting his save files go wild a little bit before the match. And we are off. I guess we'll start with the obvious. We can kind of make fun predictions about the first pickup or the first skill, if you have any.
I will try with 42 experience again for the first pickup, and then the first skill I'd like to see Bash.
I'm gonna say we're gonna get Climb first. It's gonna be Climb Seed. Well, we were both wrong. First pickup being Wind Restored. Wind Restored, of course, does nothing on its own, but once you find Feather, it becomes much more valuable.
Yeah, that's probably actually a pickup that we will find here pretty soon. Glide being the first skill. It puts another pickup in logic that is where the Frankie Walk would normally happen. But could also just be Keystones. This start is always a little bit slow, but there's already the Glide pickup, so only really giving them 1 more pickup in logic, and that means there are 3 more pickups left in total, which they can get, which should hint to further progression.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, getting the first Keystone is always, like, we didn't get it this seed, but when you get a Keystone, it's very likely you get another Keystone, right? When you get Glide or Wind Restored early, it's very likely that you get the other one, just because it opens up that pickup. As expected, we see Mattermonkey and IMRaziel alt-Ring and heading off to the right, using the new Shaft of Wind to check another pickup, and they got a Keystone for their trouble, so now it's somewhat likely that we find a second one.
Yeah, I would put my money on a second Keystone. That does not mean that it's impossible to find like another skill, maybe Wall Jump. It's also something that you can find almost always fairly early on. But then there are also these seeds where you find Wall Attraction like never. And with Swamp Teleporter, that might actually happen.
There's a number of options. We don't have time to enumerate all of them. Matter almost fell back down, was able to save it with his Feather. I guess I was half right. So what do we have so far? Let's take stock. Glide and Wind Restored. There's now wall interaction in the form of Climb and the Swamp Teleporter. IMRaziel decided to do fake flippers and got an Energy Cell, which he didn't keep the first time, but did decide to head back there. So IMRaziel is going to be slightly behind in terms of time, but he's going to be up 1 Energy Cell in the early game.
Yeah, Blackroot Burrows is one play that they could do here with Climb, and then also just taking the Swamp Teleporter is the second play they could do. Both of them choosing to make the play for the Swamp Teleporter. There are some pickups in logic that they can take here, mainly to the left. But, ooh, yeah, we see for Mattermonkey something that's a little bit finicky is climbing up this rock, actually. When you're used to only doing it with wall jump, it works a little bit different with climb.
Anyway, so Raz is now very slightly in the lead, despite taking the extra time to do the fake flickers check. Getting the swamp teleporter early opened up a few things, but not a whole lot. It wasn't the AC to the left of Ginso, wasn't the AC on the top of this. It looks like we're going to see Matter and Raz checking these pickups in roughly the same order, starting with the Horrorfield's health cell.
Yeah, that might actually be the reason why they chose to take the Swamp Teleporter, because with Wind Restored and Glide, the one pickup left of Ginso was in logic, so it could have very well been the progression they needed. Now we see a rather interesting strat by luring the Banling to break the floor down below. That pickup is also in logic, even though you don't have Storm, because that Banling lure is not really hard. The hard part is getting up there without really any wall interaction.
Yeah, that's where getting the wall interaction is early. As far as swamp starts go, it can be crueler than this one. With that second keystone in his inventory, Raz is going to hop back out. For the time being, only check the map stone, because he actually can't check anything else at the moment with no map and no way to break blue plants.
Yeah, and also with Glades, 2 keystones, there's still a lot of pickups that he can get here. Also making for the top route to skip the cutscene. When you put the keystones in the door, the cutscene doesn't play if you've put 2 keystones in the door before hitting the ground. So that's just a little time optimization there from IMRaziel.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Matter and Raz were pretty close for the first, 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, but now Raz has opened up a decent little lead, just due to Mattermonkey not having, perfect movement. Matter actually took another death, so he's back to spawn a second time, whereas Raz is partway to the wall jump tree, going to make a pit stop for just the map altar and the keystone.
It's really the one reason why IMRaziel is ahead now, is that Mattermonkey is taking quite a lot of these deaths here, having a little bit of trouble with the early game, only being on 3 HP normally, but at the moment he's actually only on 1 HP, and then he can't drop any safety saves. So that's certainly a tough position to be in.
Yeah, you have to play very, very carefully, or it can cost you, unless you want to take a lot of time to go make additional saves, which Mattermonkey did do there. I think popped off to the right to grab some energy from the crystal. Meanwhile, IMRaziel is going, just continuing around the left wall jump loop. So far, he hasn't found anything incredibly impactful, but is getting a number of keystones, which could lead to Spirit Caverns.
He also found a map stone. He has already put in the first map stone, so he can't put that to use just yet. But there's also Blackwood Burrows that is open right now, so he doesn't need to find further progression here. The map stone turning in Blackwood Burrows would not be in logic right now, but there are some other pickups he could get.
No, but it could become in logic if they get something to get past the boulder. I guess we'll just sort of have to see what the seed throws at them. Wall jump tree is just another keystone. Raz is up to 3 now.
That's enough to make it into the Spirit Caverns, where he can get, I think it's 4 pickups, and maybe he will do that. Maybe he will go Blackwood Burrows. He's using Alt-R here to get back to spawn, and is making the play for Blackwood Burrows right now. That's probably because he doesn't want to waste time by having to re-enter Spirit Caverns later on, if that would be his only way to recharge Flame Tree.
Right, and the other thing is that Spirit Caverns is a dense area. It's nice to check, but one, with Climb, it's very difficult to check the final keystone. It's possible, just it's rather finicky. Second is that going into Blackroot gets you guaranteed progression in the form of knocking out one of your skill trees, specifically Dash, whereas going into Spirit Caverns is not guaranteed to do that. So there's a number of factors that might play into IMRaziel's decision.
Of course, Blackwood Burrows with only Climb can be a little bit tough, but I'm not expecting IMRaziel to have too much problems here. He is pretty experienced in this game after all. Choosing to immediately Alt-R, normally you would get an experience pickup as well there, but that's pretty tough to get with Climb. So he's probably thinking that he's not going to bother with it and just skip that one pickup, hoping that it's not something that he will need.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Mattermonkey looks like he's making a comparable play to Raziel. He had a similar choice where he could have climbed back up to Spirit Caverns, or we should say with the Swamp Teleporter, going around to Grotto is totally in logic, albeit not necessarily a very convenient route to take.
And if I were in the shoes of these runners, I would also do the Blackwood Brothers play before the Swamp play. Like, they probably know they can get there. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But it's like these pickups are pretty free to get, and they could speed up the going to Grotto all the way over, like by a lot. They could go really fast, whereas Blackwood Brothers, you can't really speed that up much.
Yeah, Mattermonkey took another death and got sent back to the beginning of Blackers. The nice side effect of skipping that cutscene is you get a free save, although you're kind of stuck in a slow zone, and took more damage. We've already said this, but Matter is sort of continuing to bleed more and more time to his opponent, largely due to these deaths, although Raziel, for his part, is also just playing very clean.
We have to see how Mattermonkey will do in the more late game. Like, for now, with progression this linear, there's not really much Mattermonkey can do, just because Brazil is probably a little bit better executional-wise. But in the later game, one routing decision could really decide this.
Yeah, Raziel on the left is not skipping the darkness cutscene. He's just watching. You see him sort of waggling his mouse around. The reason that Raziel didn't skip it presumably has to be because he has no energy, since Raziel, I believe, does have the ability points to do it. Thankfully, not a big deal, though that cutscene, you do save time by skipping it, but not a huge amount. And it's certainly not going to be enough to lose the lead.
No, that's not going to happen. He's already through the cutscene after all. Now, what he does here is a little bit of a sequence break. Normally, you're supposed to get this pickup with only dash, but you can also jump over the crushers like Raziel just did. Only finds experience, so that's not really telling him anything. It could potentially tell you where dash is, but experience doesn't say. I mean, it's not a lot of experience, so it's probably safe to assume that dash is fairly early in the seed, but that's really all he gets from that pickup.
The hard part is that early in this seed can mean a lot of different locations, largely due to the Swamp Teleporter. Again, to focus attention on the left side of your screen, Raziel's going for a micro ledge, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little tiny bit of the collision geometry where you can stand and jump, which is exactly what Raziel did. Using that micro ledge to reach this pickup is not in logic, which means that double jump is, for the moment, not in logic.
It's not. I don't know if Mattermonkey will check that, but this climb micro ledge is fairly well known throughout the community, and also checking this boulder escape area is something that most runners do when they're already here.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Raziel. There's a hotkey in the randomizer. You can press Alt-T to show your most recent pickup, and so runners will often sort of spam it, have it say double jump, double jump, double jump over and over again to show excitement.
That's something you don't see. That's something you don't see for like the 24 experience pickup, which is sad. Experience is so nice.
Oh boy, I got 24 experience.
Yeah.
It's sick. Yeah, that's big though. The double jump find is potentially very important. Mattermonkey went off to the left and checked the ability cell in the middle part of Black Room. You can
That's
go ahead
also out of logic. Okay, so Raziel just found a bash skill, and like we said with finding the double jump, which was not in logic, the other part of the boulder escape area also was not in logic, and finding bash on the second map stone, therefore him, was not in logic now. He could have gotten it with turning it in like in the Grotto map stone. That should be in logic with the Swamp Teleporter, but it would take quite a while to get that. So the sequence break really turning out great for Raziel. Mattermonkey is also going for it, so he will find his skills shortly after.
Yeah, so to sort of check in with a race update again, Raziel, just for people who may be less familiar with Ori, Raziel on the left is definitely still in the lead. The only advantage that Mattermonkey has at the moment is that Mattermonkey checked the ability cell in the center of Blackroot and Raziel didn't. It's very unlikely, I think, that Raziel will end up going back there. But it is knowledge that Mattermonkey has. In the meantime, though, Raziel now has a lot more flexibility to explore the map with double jump and bash. It really opens up his mobility.
And it allows him to make the play for Grotto quite a lot earlier than he would have normally. Normally, he would have had to go like all the way from the Swamp Teleporter up through the Swamp Loop and then down to Grotto. He does not need to do that now. He could just go through the Iceless area, which is exactly what he did. And now he can check this really pickup dense area. Oh, oh wow. Okay, that's a huge death. That's wow, this is giving...
That's almost enough to tie it up. And not quite, but like if Mattermonkey decides to teleport to Swamp, they're going to be, again, not tied, but much closer. That's a pretty huge death. Biggest one that we've seen so far from IMRaziel.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, it's almost pretty much a tie then, making up for like all the deaths that Mattermonkey took so far. Really hurtful, and they can't really save a lot because they're still on 1 energy. IMRaziel probably wants to keep that.
Well, do you know what it is, Spark? Those kinds of deaths can be so frustrating sometimes, apart from the obvious time loss, because it can be difficult sometimes to remember which pickups were valuable and which ones were not. You know, so like, do you waste your time checking everything again, or do you beeline to the pickups that were important? Looks like IMRaziel did remember at least a little bit. I think I saw him skip at least 1 or 2 things, but yeah, with that, Mattermonkey caught up a lot of time. Looks like they're both likely going to be heading down into Moon Grotto. IMRaziel is already here, of course, but looks like Mattermonkey is going to follow in Raz's footsteps.
As we said, Moon Grotto is a pretty pickup dense area. Like in this Death Gauntlet area, there's not too many pickups that IMRaziel can check right now. He does not have Charge Jump or like Plant Breakage to check the 2 upper pickups, but he can check this pickup, and it is in Logic and it is an energy cell. So being on 2 energy now enables him to save a lot more than on 1 energy. I would argue like twice as much as he was able before. So that's certainly nice. He would like to be on 4 energy eventually to check some more 4 energy doors, but he does not need that just yet.
Right. It is interesting to me that IMRaziel decided to head through the Death Gauntlet from this side. It's totally in logic and everything, but it can be common for runners to wait until they find 4 energy, then Altar and go back through the 4 energy door, which happens to be pretty much directly adjacent to spawn. That said, IMRaziel and Mattermonkey, they need a number of pickups. No clue yet, because Matter and Raz have only activated 2 skill trees. So they need both dungeon keys, they need health and energy, they need a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we still don't know kind of which seed we have here, because a seed, no matter what like skills it gives you in terms of progression, it can troll you pretty hard with the dungeon key locations, and we have no idea where they are so far. We'll find out once our runners reach the double jump tree, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that we don't have a clue yet. I mean, it's not. Obviously, we don't have a clue. They haven't activated 3 skill trees yet. But usually by this point in the seed, runners would have activated 3 skill trees. And the reason that Matter and Raz haven't is that they haven't been able to access Charge Flame, which is very commonly the 3rd tree. But without going through Spirit Caverns, without the ability to break blue walls, that's not accessible. So it's looking like Double Jump is going to get that clue.
Okay, IMRaziel had a save before the vertical... Oh, that's horizontal. The horizontal crush is there. Finds the keystone. Maybe he's making the mini-boss play. Yeah, I like that from IMRaziel. He can kill the mini-boss fairly quickly with his bash skill. And there could be something here. There's not too many pickups that are left in Logic.
Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what you described. Is this pickup takes a while, but it is as in Logic as everything else, and therefore as likely to be progression as anything else. A reminder that having Double Jump and Bash is still not in Logic, because both of them were in the boulder area, remember?
Oh yeah.
So that's even more interesting. So like, if you're in these runner situations, it doesn't really matter that you got Bash and Double Jump out of order. You can just check everything. Well, yeah, okay, Bash would be in Logic now. I am mistaken. Double Jump is not in Logic, however. And so many of these pickups, they might be progression by happenstance, but they won't be like the next progression item that the Logic expected you to find. That's going to be somewhere else.
But that's probably nice in terms of maybe finding like what real one action, maybe even charge jump, something like that. Something that would get you to the double jump pickup in the boulder SD.
Yeah, speaking of Charge Jump, I'm glad you mentioned it. Charge Jump would be one of the more valuable finds for Matter or IMRaziel at the moment. In combination with Climb, it would act as a partial stomp replacement, which would help, among other things, breaking the Kuro Rocks and getting down to the Light Grenade tree.
Yeah, it would help for quite a lot. There's clean water, so that immediately puts a lot more pickups in logic, especially if they were to find a charge jump, they could make the play for swamp. And there's a swim with, I think that's 5 pickups in there that don't take too long to get.
The first clue, by the way, was that the water vein is on a map stone.
Oh,
so for anyone who might not be familiar, there are a total of 9 map pedestals in the game, although a total of 11 map stones. The reason being that if an important pickup like the water vein, for example, happens to be on map 9, you don't have to find every single map stone. You have a little bit of leeway, right? You only have to find 9 out of 11 of them. That said, it is possible that the water vein will be on map stone 9, which would require horror traversal, although it's very unlikely. Raziel at the moment has activated 4.
Yeah, but he at the same time he has already activated 4, right? So not in the first few map stones. The next. Oh, look, there's charge jump.
Hello.
But yeah, okay, that was in logic with bash actually. I thought. Oh no, it wasn't, right? But with climb, okay, it was in logic. Never mind me.
Yep. With bash, you were thinking of the double bash. The double bash wouldn't be in logic.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, with climb it did. Yeah, so with this, Raziel is now going into this area, and this is kind of the advantage. If you remember from way back earlier in the seed, both Raziel and Mattermonkey had a choice of whether to go to Blackroot or whether to go into Spirit Caverns. I'm guessing that part of the reason they put it off until now is knowing that there is that ability cell up top and this keystone that Raziel is checking, both of which were difficult to check with their skill set at the time. But now they're pretty free.
And now Raziel's energy, he's already on 7, so he's gotten a lot of energy very fast. He can now go through the Death Gauntlet the intended way. He has clean water here, so he can also eventually check the 4 energy door down below.
Yeah, Raziel can't break blue plants, so he has to skip some pickups. And of course, Raziel, has already been through this area from the other side, so he's checked a number of the pickups. Important note, though, about Mattermonkey over on the right. Matter did not go to that ability cell above the health cell in Glades, which means that Matter missed a charge jump. He might find it later, but that's going to be potentially a big miss for him.
I hope that he maybe will go for the charge flame tree now and then loop down and then alt R because he can't make it through the wall.
Well, speaking of charge-related skills, Raziel also just found Charge Flame. Why does that matter right now, Spark?
The Charge Flame, for one, it gives them access to break blue things, like the plants, which have almost all of the plants are in logic now. And then another thing about Charge Flame is that it costs energy, but Raziel has already 7 energy right now, so he can put that to use pretty easily. Normally you would like to have something like Grenade instead to break these blue things, but like I said, with 7 energy, it's pretty comfortable to use Charge Flame and get all of these plants.
Yeah, and of course, with those, with Charge Flame and now with Charge Jump for Raziel as well, curious where he's going to go first. Of course, we just saw the Mattermonkey make a trip to the Spirit Caverns area. Raziel looks like he alt-art maybe hesitated for a moment. He's going to head back over to the right, probably to check the 4 energy door underwater, which is, I think, out of logic. I don't remember whether they have 3 or 4 energy that they've actually found.
Well, it doesn't really like matter if it's not something important, just experience. So doesn't really matter. Like I said, with Charge Flame, I also thought about Swamp entry now. He could, having clean water, he could go for the Drainless play. He could also make the quote-unquote normal Swamp entry by going from above. So has a lot of way to make it to Swamp.
Yeah, Raziel instead is going to go back into Blackroot. This is a very interesting decision. I'm sure that Raziel will check the dash point because it makes sense to do so at the moment. From there, Raziel could also head down to the Light Grenade tree, although it's difficult for me to tell how many ability points he has. He may have trouble getting past the laser, although there are many ways to do it.
I think he will actually combine that because maybe his thinking was, I'm gonna check just dash plan because it could be something. Having Sea Flame, it is in logic, and now since he's already here, he might as well go for the grenade tree.
Yeah, I certainly agree with going for the grenade tree while you're down here. Meanwhile, the Mattermonkey is Of course, he's already been to the double jump tree, but he's doing some additional traversal down in Grotto at the moment, checking the 2 energy area, also called the glide vault, because of course it is. He got charge flame, which is something that we've already seen Raziel check.
Yeah, we really see... Oh, okay, Razi taking another death to the laser. There were not important pickups there, so that might have actually been intentional right there in order to get a little bit faster out of this situation. Choosing to ult Aria, actually, instead of going for the grenade tree play.
Yeah, we can't read Raziel's mind, but the likely reason for that is that Raziel at the moment, and thank you to Terra, our restreamer, for telling me this, Raz has 2 ability points. And he could have gotten past the laser using those 2 ability points, but then you wouldn't have 1 left over to skip the cutscene. He could also skip the laser with 1, but that's much more difficult to do. Raz, for the moment, must have just thought, you know what, it's not worth it. It won't take too long to get back here later. Let's go search other things.
That is actually really smart thinking by him. I would have probably just go for it and then realized, oh wow, I'm on 0 AP.
It's the sort of mistake you make not once, you make it a few times and then it starts to stick. But for a while, it's an easy mistake to make. It is really solid awareness by Raziel, if that's his reasoning, which it probably is.
One thing that Raziel has not checked, I think, is what Mattermonkey is checking right now, this Grotto Vault. And it should be in logic with Charge Jump. Of course, Mattermonkey does not have Charge Jump. It is also in logic with Bash, like. But it would be faster with Charge Jump, and it's not really much.
Yeah, one problem, though, is that Matter was not able to check the plant down in that area because Matter had to use all of his energy to open up the door. So that may or may not matter, but that's one additional pickup that Matter had to leave behind, which is especially frustrating because Matter already had to take the time investment to go over there and wasn't able to go clear it.
Looks like he won't find Charge Jump for quite a while, maybe actually never throughout the seed, unless he has to dig really deep.
The time to check that pickup is when you're going to Spirit Caverns because it's on the way. For Mattermonkey to not check it might be that he had forgotten that it exists. And the problem is that, as I said, it's a one-off that it doesn't really make sense to revisit unless you're particularly desperate. So it is looking likely that if Matter ever finds Charge Jump, it's going to be pretty late.
And we see 2 interesting diversions here from our runners. Raziel has checked the Spider Sack area, and Mattermonkey looks like he's going for maybe the Swamp entry. He does not have Charge Jump, so this will be a little bit different for him than it would have been for Raziel. Okay, so it's not going through the lower Swamp entry. He might just do the double bash method with the frog to go for the upper entry, but he might also just check like the Swamp. There's still some pickups he can check.
Well, there's this to me, and I think you'll agree, is a very interesting point in the seed. Of course, the overall objective is obvious: is get to all 10 skill trees and finish the game. To that end, if runners are in a situation like Matter and Raziel, where you just sort of have to search for more stuff, there is some logic in going to skill trees first. That said, this particular seed has the water vein on a map stone, so it could be the case that Raziel and Matter are waiting until they have another map before going to swap. That might be their reasoning. They might just not be going there for other reasons. Hard to say.
It's probably not a bad idea to do that, but with them being able to enter Swamp and them having clean water, the map stone for Swamp might just as well be in the Swamp swim. And yeah, so we actually see Mattermonkey now attempting the Swamp entry right here.
Yeah, I was going to say this would be trivial for Matter if he had Charge Jump, but unfortunately missed it. Okay. Yep, I saw that. Raziel found Dash over in the Valley entrance. That's going to be very valuable for getting to the Light Grenade tree and also just for, you know, going real fast.
Especially in combination with Bash. Raziel has already leveled Charge Dash, so he can go pretty fast now. And Mattermonkey is not going to find that soon because he's in Swamp already. Gonna check all these pickups, which might still give him a map stone. But also Wall Jump.
Wall Jump is not the most valuable pickup at the moment since they already have wall interaction, but what the heck, Wall Jump's nice to have.
It's pretty nice. Sometimes you can forget about not having it because you know you have wall interaction, but you forget it's only climb and then you slide down a wall. And
then you have a bad time.
Yeah, it's not a great time, but now with dash, Raziel will have no problem to make it through to the grenade tree, through the laser. So I think he's on 4 AP now, so he could have technically also zombie orbit, but there's no need to do that now. Can just make it through like that, and will have more than enough ability points to skip the following cutscene.
Well, I mean, and to make a very obvious statement, but I'll say it anyway. Dash is nice to get to the skill trees and stuff, but I mean, Raziel was already in the lead through his checking, but also largely through finding charge jump. With dash, Raziel's lead is going to continue to grow because he'll be able to get everywhere faster than Mattermonkey can, especially with things like rocket jumps in Sorrow. Dash is just unsurprisingly, a very, very nice pickup to get in terms of going fast.
They have glide, so that's also pretty nice for Sorrow, especially since we don't know where the Sunstone is yet, and it might be in Sorrow. And looking through Sorrow, even with grenade rocket jumps from like charge dash, is pretty tough. So having glide puts that out of the equation. Could also be grenade lock, the Sunstone that is. So maybe they do want to find grenade at some point throughout the siege.
Yeah, it's hard to say. This is interesting from Raziel opening up a save anywhere. He looks like he is going to head over to the left side of the map. That would be his only reasoning for heading back to Valley Entry, and he's already cleared it out. Raziel doesn't have Stomp, so of course he's going to have to do the Frankie double bash trick, but I can't imagine that giving someone as experienced as Raziel very much trouble.
Meanwhile, it looks like Mattermonkey actually found the Sorrow teleporter in the Swamp Swim at the XP. So that's a nice means of left side access for him.
That's like very important actually. With the current... Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I thought you were almost dying to the swamp water there as well. He can't get through the wall after the Sorrow teleporter yet because he does not have charge jump or stomp, or I think these are the two only skills that would allow you to go through there. Can't put in the map
stomp or charge jump. Raziel is having some trouble jumping up this wall. Raz did make a save after opening up the peg, so that's not going to be very much time loss, although it's going to be annoyingness nonetheless. That Sorrow teleporter find from Matter is one of the most powerful pickups in the game, but as you said, it requires some skills to use it. For Raziel, it would be incredibly valuable. For Matter, not so much at the moment, and in the meanwhile, Raz is almost over to the left side of the map anyway.
Will not find a kill plane here because he does not have Stomp, so he can just casually glide up and then break the Kuro rocks, no problem.
Yeah, important note, remember that the water vein is on a map stone. We don't know where the sunstone is yet. Mattermonkey has activated map 5, died a few times, but did activate it. Which means that we know the water vein isn't on map 5. Raz at the moment only has 1 map stone, I think, unless I'm reading that wrong.
Yeah, he has only 1.
And so Raz hasn't activated 5 yet, so he's going to have to go do that. When he does, he's not going to find the water vein. So we know for a fact that the water vein is on map 6 or above. Mattermonkey does still have 1 more map remaining. Raziel will not after he spends it.
And he's coming up on his... Oh, there we go. Sunstone is in Sorrow. You can see that on the left side for Raziel. So it's certainly nice that he has Glide now. But there are still some grenade-gated pickups in Sorrow. So maybe they will actually have to dig for grenade throughout the siege.
Well, there's specifically one. So it's extremely statistically unlikely that they get screwed by grenade. But it could happen. And, well, we could hope that it happens. That might be kind of mean. It's kind of like intentional commentator's curse, but we'll see what happens. Looks like Raz is going to head up to Sorrow before going into Misty, which is a fair play. Oftentimes runners will put off Misty Woods if you don't know where the clue is, but of course we know that there isn't a key in that area anyway. Might as well get Sorrow out of the way first.
He will probably check all these pickups in Sorrow now because he knows the Sunstone is here. He will also look to put in the Mapstone in this Mapstone altar just below, because we know it's not Mapstone for the water vein, that is, but Raziel doesn't know, so he will check that right after getting this Mapstone. And yeah, then he's gonna combine the Sunstone search with the charge jump tree pickup, which I think is
Matter meanwhile on the right did go into Valley Entry and get his dash pickup. That's something that it was going to be pretty unlikely for Matter to miss, although Matter, of course, found it quite a bit later than Raz. Still no charge jump, though. So Matter is closer in terms of skill parity, but he's not there yet.
The route that Mattermonkey is taking, I don't think he will find charge jump like that soon. IMRaziel just picked up extra air dash. That's also pretty nice for him because he, of course, has dash. Mattermonkey also found that. There's the Sunstone, so no need to keep looking for that.
I was going to say, I really like that even though IMRaziel knew that the Sunstone was in Sorrow, he decided to target his search towards the skill tree first. He did go a little bit out of his way, but mostly went directly to charge jump. The reason is obvious, is that if you find the Sunstone along the way, like IMRaziel did, you just cut yourself out a lot of potentially wasteful searching. So good job by IMRaziel.
He's really showing some efficient routing throughout this seed, I think. Also putting off Swamp, like the Mapstone turn in there, like we mentioned at the start. Both of them, IMRaziel and Mattermonkey, chose to do that probably because they didn't have a Mapstone at the time. Now in Swamp Water there were 2 Mapstones, but you couldn't really know that without going to Swamp, and then you're kind of locked into that. So IMRaziel still has to go to Storm Tree in Swamp, but he can also do Misty now. He knows where all the dungeon keys are, and there's no Mapstone turning in Misty, so might just get that out of the way right now.
Yeah, there is one very important thing that is worth mentioning again. Remember that the water vein, excuse me, is on a map, and we don't know which one, except that it's not the first 5. So ordinarily in a seed like this, you would have IMRaziel skipping probably every single pickup, right? But he can't really do that because he still needs Mapstones, and they can be anywhere. Yeah,
that's that's like really the one thing that he's still looking for. Yeah. Also picks up grenades, so could potentially get some grenade gated pickups, but like all of them are pretty slow to get, and even with them potentially being Mapstones, it's probably not something that he will be using, but it enables him to do grenade jumps, and that makes for a pretty fast movement throughout a number of places.
Yeah, so we've been talking about Raz for a while. To check in with Mattermonkey. Mattermonkey is now in Sorrow. Looks like accidentally messed up his rocket jump. Gonna try again. Mattermonkey is making a comparable play to his opponent, heading mostly towards the charge jump tree before doing more thorough searching for the Sunstone, which is good because Matter's going to find the Sunstone actually being slightly more efficient than IMRaziel without going to the right side first.
He did not do the Mapstone turn yet, right? So water vein could still be on Mapstone 6.
It absolutely could be. Yeah, to activate maps, you need the Mapstone resource, then you have to go to the locations where the map altars are. The map altars are, of course, preset, and these runners know exactly where they all are. This seed is kind of starved on maps, to be honest. And actually, I was mistaken. Matter didn't have his clue until now. I thought he had activated Glide first. I was wrong.
Oh, he did not? I also expected him to just have done that, but well, he does have charge jump now, so it's interesting that he chose to ult R then after finding out that the water vein was in a Mapstone. Okay, wait, I'm saying dumb things. They knew where the water vein was from the start. He got the Sorrow clue right now, so but did already find the Sunstone, so no real reason.
He has the Sunstone. That's what matters. So this is it really all comes down to where the heck is the water vein, like which map is it on. Matter does have the advantage at the moment purely in terms of Mapstones. Of course, the Mapstone that Matter found underwater that IMRaziel does not have. We don't know where the rest are, so we'll see whether those matter.
IMRaziel will probably check the swim here, and there were some Mapstones there, and then maybe water vein is on Mapstone 6, or maybe our runners will have to keep looking for it. They can't yet go to Forlorn, for example, where there is a Mapstone pedestal in there.
There's a lot of places to go. This seed has a very interesting way of I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Equalizing things. IMRaziel just got his wall jump from that energy cell top and swamp again, by the way. IMRaziel is ahead if you look at the skill trackers in the bottom left and right parts of the screen, Raziel is ahead in terms of skill trees, having already been to Light Grenade and having been through Misty Woods. And Raziel is going to catch up on Stomp as well for 10 out of 10. Well, for 9 out of 10, excuse me. But it all comes down to maps. Thankfully, Raziel is going to find his next mapstone pretty shortly.
And Mattermonkey has just checked mapstone number 6 for us. It was just, I think it was health regeneration, maybe energy, some kind of regeneration. So mapstone 7 it might be mapstone 8 or 9. It's certainly not mapstone 6. So Raziel will not gonna find the water vein either after turning that in. And it'll be interesting to see what Raziel chooses to go for after that.
Was that 2 maps underwater?
Yeah.
I thought there was only 1. Okay, my mistake. So that's potentially valuable. Matter, as we said, has checked 6. Raziel will be able to check his 6th very shortly, because I don't think he checked the one over in Swamp. Yeah, so this will be 6 for Raziel. Gonna take out the Rhino quick first. But now Raziel has another map for 7. I guess Matter does as well. It's interesting. It's most seeds, the maps aren't nearly as important as this one. So it's really interesting to try to track them.
And what are the mapstone pedestals that are left? Like there's one on the way to Forlorn. And now Raziel actually has the means of making it there, no problem. With finding Stomp in the charge jump gated pickup. And that's also a problem for Mattermonkey because he will not find that either then. So at the moment he would still have to do a sequence break of doing the reverse Frankie walk in order to make it to the grenade tree.
Yeah, it's nice that Raziel found Stomp after already going through Valley, because he didn't have to deal with the Kuro kill plane, even though there are relatively easy ways to skip it, but he didn't even have to think about that. Raziel now has every single skill, which is uncommon in any randomizer seed to get every single skill. So that's just kind of cool to see.
Oh yeah, Mapstone 7, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy cow, we are 1 map away from the legendary map 9 water vein. It could still be on 8. But it might also be 9.
Yeah, I'm probably putting my money on 9 right now. Actually, Raziel has all the skills. He has Sunstone.
Well, what Raziel doesn't have is more mapstones. Raziel, as we said, has activated 7. Matter has only activated. Well, there's another one. Matter's only activated 6, but he has a 7th mapstone that he'll be able to put in, although it will take him additional time to do so. With that extra mapstone, Raziel will be able to activate number 8, and right now the only map that Raziel hasn't activated, apart from the one in Horu, is along the Forlorn path, which he can access, thankfully, pretty quickly from the Valley Teleporter.
There will play a short cutscene here right now, and it puts a save right down below. He might choose to die after the cutscene to get there quicker, because he doesn't really need to check any other pickups, but he could also choose to check like Warmth Return, for example. That's always useful to have.
Well, Raziel might need to check more pickups because he might need one more map. That's why
true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason that he could be checking. Raziel has literally every single skill. He has Wind Restored and Clean Water. The only possible thing that he could even want at this point is another mapstone, which he may or may not need. But man, if he checks 8 and it's not there, he might regret not doing his search. And I didn't even think about this. Raziel can get to that same map altar going out the front door. That's really clever.
The camera actually needs some time to catch up to him right there. Yeah, he can do that. He still needs to find the one mapstone you were mentioning, Grim, and not too many pickups left. It's pretty interesting that this seed, they are only 40 minutes in. It could have potentially been quite fast were it not for the mapstone search, really.
Yeah, this is really interesting. It will still take Raziel. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can break this wall. To be honest, I very rarely see Forlorn from this side, so I'm not as familiar with it. I kind of forgot, but yeah, it won't take Raziel very long to get to the map. From this direction, although I think Raz is gonna have to do some double bash stuff in order to break the barricade.
He can just stomp it, right?
Oh, you can. CIL. Anyway, so Raz will be checking that map shortly. Meanwhile, Mattermonkey is, as expected, walk using dash rather than bash.
Oh wow, it's mapstone.
Unreal. unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. Water Vein is on map 9 in Mount freaking Horu.
And I bet that's something that people in chat crossed right when we got the Water Vein clue, so thank you for that.
Someone go post in the Ori Discord. I need people to... yeah, so with that, Raz knows exactly where the Water Vein is, but he doesn't have an extra map stone, which means he's going to keep searching. There are an additional 3 maps remaining, since there are a total of 11 map stones on the map rather than just 9. So of those 3, Raziel only needs to find 1, and then it's essentially a race to the finish line.
Yeah, but 3 pickups within all the pickups that are possible, like they have not done Lost Grove, which Raziel can do. He has all the skills, he has clean water. Then there's also a number of pickups in Horu that are pretty slow to get. All of them could basically be mapstones at this point.
Yeah, so, it's hard to say, and sorry, I'm just like trying to... Mattermonkey still never find charge jump. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's really slowing it down a little. He had to do the reverse Frankie walk here. Executed that pretty well. Had a little bit of trouble with going through the crushers there, but he's through now. And really with him also needing to find mapstones. If he chooses to do a little bit of a different routing, maybe he could catch up if he like checks Lost Grove first, and there would be, let's say, or something like that. I think Raziel didn't check that mapstone pickup, which Mattermonkey just got. So Mattermonkey would be 1 mapstone ahead and maybe can make the Fallen entry quicker.
Well, is Matter 1 ahead, or is he now tied? With maps, because Matter's still at 7 that he's activated.
Yeah, but I think, was it in Misty or something? Like he can get the next mapstone on his way if he chooses to be thorough.
I guess time will tell. Raziel, of course, while we've been talking, Sorrow Traversal, which I think is very intelligent. As far as searching for a mapstone, all you do is just search for dense areas at the end. And this area in Sorrow is about as dense as they come. If it's not here, we might see Raziel go back to maybe Moon Grotto. It's hard to say. He's cleared out a lot of the map already.
There's the 1 experience pickup that's only... You can get it only once per seat, like the Warmth Return pickup, and they are like the 2 most useless pickups that you can get, so that's out of the way. Maybe he's going for Lost Grove now? No, that's the Grotto play.
At this point, it can be challenging to remember exactly which pickups you've checked, because these maps, as we said, could be anywhere. You can't really read logic in the same way. By the way, check out what Matter is doing on the right. What's he up to, Spark?
Yeah, I just saw that Mattermonkey, of course, has never find Charge Jump, so also has never find Stop. It's really the 2 only skills that he's missing at this point. And in order to make it to the mapstone pedestal that Raziel got, the one that's kind of near Forlorn, he has to break a storm floor right here, and that frog could break the floor for him, but he needs to make sure it doesn't die to the spikes, and then he has 1 more bash to get it over there. That looks pretty nice. Should be set up here to break the floor now, no problem. That was actually pretty well executed by him, only really having trouble like once, and that's a pretty tough trick.
Yeah, well done. That early charge jump miss is really costing Matter. I say because he currently behind in terms of pickups. It might not matter for the race as a whole, because it's all going to come down to the map. As for Raziel, he is currently down in the vault in Grotto, an area that Matter has already checked. However, Matter was not able to check the plant when he was here. It's not a map though, so there are no additional maps that Raziel is going to find down here, I don't think.
Yeah, no, there are. I think it was a keystone and experience or something. Not really useful. The mapstone that Raziel found, which Mattermonkey did not find yet, was in Forlorn. And Mattermonkey does not have the Gumonsi, so he cannot reach Forlorn by going through here. So he will not really find anything in these pickups. Raziel still hasn't found his mapstone either, though. So they are still looking for their last mapstone.
Yeah, and thank you to Chicken Supreme and the truck, who, for this kind of match, having additional people helping you with tracking is extremely valuable. It's basically what you described. I think that the 2 runners are effectively even on maps at this point. I mean, they've both activated 8, and they currently both have 0 in their inventory. So unless I'm forgetting something, I think that the location of... Again, there are still 3 maps, map stones somewhere in the world, and I think we don't know where any of them are that either runner hasn't found, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I think so too. Like, we know where the 9th is. It's a different one for IMRaziel and Mattermonkey. In fact, Mattermonkey will probably get it right now. It's the keystone right above him. And this could potentially be huge. He's also only missing the bash tree.
So I was wrong, because Matter is Matter's about to get his 9th map, whereas Raziel's still searching for it.
Are there 11 in total? In that case, you will.
Yeah, there's 11 in total. So
I was thinking 12 total. Okay.
I think
that's mapstone 9 for Mattermonkey. So this means he can make the horror play, and instantly he's ahead now. IMRaziel can't go horror yet.
This is incredible. Where are which map did Matter get that IMRaziel didn't again?
Let me think quickly. It was in Blackwood Burrows at the grenade tree, the XP pickup that was grenade-gated.
Okay, yeah, and that's a one-off that IMRaziel might go back to, but it since of course IMRaziel didn't have grenade at the time in Misty Woods, so all of the grenade-gated pickups, including the one down in the Lost Grove area next to the light grenade tree, could be another map. But yeah, this is pretty huge. It's rare to see actual entry into horror that isn't just a door. Of course, Matter isn't gonna.
Oh wow, that is a convenient map stone find for IMRaziel. Instantly charge dashing to horror now. That's like the dream.
We said that Matter was ahead, and that's technically still true, but now it's on the order of, I don't know, 15 seconds as opposed to unlimited. And
there's a grenade. Oh, okay, actually missing the first grenade jump, but still, we have ourselves a tight race now right away. It's probably gonna come down to
it all comes down
to the final escape, right?
Because it comes down to execution and Dorp in the final escape. Both runners know that Watervane is on map 9. Both of them are already in Mount Horror, although Mattermonkey over on the right is slightly ahead. The map altar in this area is just a little bit up in this shaft. Matter's going to get there fairly shortly, and IMRaziel, of course, is just a little bit far behind. Once they get it, it's going to be an immediate Alt-R, go to Ginso, finish the game. It's all down to execution.
And IMRaziel already pulling ahead here, with Mattermonkey having a little bit more mistakes in his execution. So gets his Watervane right now. IMRaziel is...
Does he forget that he needs to go to Ginso?
Oh wow.
He may have forgotten.
He may have forgotten, which is interesting because he just got the Watervane.
It is rare. It is rare to... that timer he remembered. So at this point, that's valuable for Mattermonkey, though. I do, as far as execution, but like Mattermonkey is now roughly 8 to 10 seconds ahead.
It's amazing how every second counts now in this race, because there's not too much that's left. You can get bashed pretty quickly. However, one thing that IMRaziel has that Mattermonkey does not have is, of course, charge jump, which is going to make his Ginso traversal a lot quicker.
Look at this sync, dude. Are you kidding me? They're nearly frame tied. I can't even speak. That's how excited I am.
and there is already pulling ahead with his charge jump. He has also got grenade jumps, so that's actually quite a lead for the final escape as well.
Yeah, it totally is. That's an immediate, 30-ish, maybe a little second time saving the final escape. And yeah, check this out. IMRaziel, very clean dashes. Just making short work of these rooms to be able to bash to redirect the projectile in the puzzle room, whereas Mattermonkey is still just now getting through the teleporter room. It's looking like IMRaziel might even be able to open up as much as like a 30 to 40 second lead getting into Mount Horror if he keeps at this pace.
With a charge jump, he just obliterated the mini-boss as well, and Mattermonkey can probably charge dash it to bring it down quickly, but not as quick as IMRaziel was able to do there, because charge jump deals a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, well, here we go on the left. IMRaziel just got to the bash tree almost exactly as Mattermonkey killed his. That means that Mattermonkey has 2 more quick rooms to go through, along with opening up the keystone door and watching the tree animation. Whereas IMRaziel has already activated the tree. Alt-R is going to go back to the swamp teleporter, and away he goes.
Is Mattermonkey only on 3 keystones? Oh, Jesus.
Are you kidding me? Please be keystones. Please be keystones.
Health.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Now,
do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Apart from general searching, did Raziel ever open up the Spirit Cavern's door, or did he do it with charge jump through the charge flame area?
I don't think he opened it up, no.
That might have... I mean, at this point, Raziel has a lot of keystones due to his thoroughness, but... to be clear, both of us on commentary forgot about keystones.
I always forget about keystones, so...
Pretty understandable why Mattermonkey also forgot about keystones.
He does seem to know about the Ginzo key dupe, though that is pretty slow and loses him a whole bunch of time. Unless Raziel has quite a lot of trouble with the final escape, he can't win that race. And that's rough to kind of lose your chance to win the race to that.
Yeah, I do think that doing the key duplication here in Ginzo, correct call. Looks like it worked. If you look at the top right of Mattermonkey's screen, he's now up to 6 keystones rather than the 3 that he had before, and of course he only needs 4 of them to open the door, but with that, that's going to effectively seal victory for Raziel, who's already about to start his final escape and has access to grenade jumps. Still, the fact that they were basically frame-tied coming into Ginzo is unbelievable, honestly, this long.
Yeah, this has been quite an interesting seed after they both found their mapstones, like not at the same time, but were able to make holo entry at the same time because of where they found their respective mapstones.
Well, let's see if Raziel has any issues with the escape. I'm guessing that no. He has literally every skill and clean water and everything and grenade jumps.
Unless he spawns through, he should be fine. Yeah, he's through the death plane. Should be fine. He could soft lock this, but we have pretty consistent setups at the moment. We kind of know what caused the soft lock there. So did not soft lock, makes it through the seed with that's, oh god, I don't know what time that's going to be. Maybe it's still sub 55. But
it's faster than Mattermonkey, which from Raziel's perspective is the only thing that matters. He's got to be terrified on a seed like this where you're effectively blind searching for maps. That's a terrifying spot to be in a competitive setting.
Especially with where the mapstone was for Raziel, like that plant where it was in the grove area, that's the plant that Mattermonkey could have potentially checked. He didn't, but Raziel doesn't know that.
Yeah, well anyway, Raziel has finished, there he goes. His SRL time went off slightly before I saw it on stream. Final time, 54:56. So broke the 55-minute mark on a Mapstone 9 seed. I don't know if we've seen that in the tournament so far. That's very rare. Very rare.
And with that, Mattermonkey now only has to finish the final escape. Does still not have charge jump, so that's like the one limiting factor. And apart from that, forgetting that he only was on 3 keystones or not paying attention to it because of nerves or just like playing the game, like you said, it's something you can't forget.
I have some things to say regarding this seed. Raziel is spamming Alt P. He is not doing this to show us his 166 pickups, although that is high. He's not doing it to show us map 9 out of 9. He's doing it to show that the Gumon seal was in Horu. That matters because the seed, through standard logic, expected them to go through Mount Horu to get the Gumon seal, then go to Forlorn to get their water vein.
Luckily we have Forlorn teleporter for something like that. But yeah, that's a interesting quirk of the logic, because the logic does not, Forlorn is not in logic unless you have the Gumon seal, even if you have the Forlorn teleporter.
Well, anyway, yeah, Mattermonkey without charge jump, he can still skip the pro spawn, but can't do it as easily, so he's quick fish strats instead. Mattermonkey, of course, has already lost the race, but that's going to lose him some additional time through not being able to grenade jump. Even so, GG to Mattermonkey, who made this race a heck of a lot closer than it would have been due to having the one additional map that Raziel had missed.
Yeah, he was pretty fast. Also pretty solid for all the sequence break he had to do, like the frog floor break, not having stomp, then the reverse Frankie walk, and the Ginzo key dupe. Like he has had to do quite a lot of these weird randomizer strats, really showing off his knowledge.
Reminder that this is only game 1 in a series of 3 games, although, of course, if IMRaziel second one, then it'll be over after the series. Game 2 is going to be coming up not directly after this match, because we're going to give the runners and everyone, a 5 to 10 minute break to calm down a little bit after a Mapstone 9 Water Vein. But then the next match will be coming up here on Speed Gaming once Mattermonkey finishes up and we sort of close out the first game.
Yeah, that's gonna be game 2. So Mattermonkey has to win that because it is a best of 3, and Brazil only already got 1 win. So he probably wants to calm down a little bit after this feat. Maybe grab himself a drink, which is what I'm gonna do. And then we'll see you in a few minutes, I guess.
Yep, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back soon. Welcome back again. This is game 2 in a best of between IMRaziel and Mattermonkey 2018 Warrior Randomizer tournament. In game 1, we saw IMRaziel win against Mattermonkey, although not by a huge amount. It was a seed with the water vein on map 9, so it was just a rather unique seed. Again, on commentary, my name is Grim, and I'm joined by Spark again.
Yep, I'm still here. I'm still excited for this match. We can quickly see the bracket here again. So if IMRaziel takes this victory already, he will potentially have to face either Cleanfell or Ushepti. If Mattermonkey wins this race, then, like we said at the start of the first race, we will go to a game 3, and this will be scheduled a little bit later. I think it's on Wednesday, actually.
Yep. If required, that's kind of been the convention, as you'd imagine. Scheduling a best of 3 can be difficult because you never know whether you're going to need 2 games or 3. So our convention is to do 2 in one set, and then do the third one later. Anyway, we are about to get the race kicked off. Again, IMRaziel is over on the left, Mattermonkey on the right. One of the hardest things about playing 2 randomizer seeds in a row is wiping your sort of internal memory. Remembering that even though IMRaziel and Matter checked a large chunk, like a large majority of the map last seed, it's all a fresh start. Everything is unchecked. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I think it's potentially gonna be pretty tough on them to not mix up some of the pickups. Like, they had to search basically the whole map in the last seed because of that Mapstone 9 water vein clue. So just finding a keystone here for the first pickup, like we said in the first race, it's highly likely that they will find a second to make it 2 glades then. And we will see where the seed takes us from there.
Second pickup is another keystone. So that means that in the absence of additional skills or teleporters, we will be heading into the wall jump area. Getting the 2 keystone starts also gives you... looks like IMRaziel's forming some hearts with his mouse. Getting the 2 keystones means that you have a potentially slow seed on your hands. The reason being that skills speed things up, and resources are not skills. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, skills are the biggest progression. Of course, keystones not being skills still give you a little bit of progression, like, for example, opening up glades. But after that, you really need skills to go like anywhere. Even if you had keystones, you can't really get anywhere in Spirit Caverns. So they will have to find the first skill pretty shortly. Another nice find that's not a skill is an energy cell here. In last seed, it was pretty tough to keep up on the energy, and now they're on 2. Also finding Glide on this pickup.
Yeah, Glide's, in my opinion, one of the most powerful pickups in the game. By itself, it doesn't do a huge amount, but having Feather makes Sorrow and Misty and just various other parts of moving around the map 1,000 times easier. It also simplifies the final escape, so it's a wonderful ability to keep in your back pocket.
I totally agree with that, Grim. Even in this tournament, we have seen quite a lot of seeds where Glide actually was the deciding factor, with one of the runners having that skill and the other one missing that skill. So it's certainly nice to have that quite early. We also had that in last seed. Maybe we will find an early wind restored here as well.
And nice that was a map there. I'm coming down into... risky is the wrong word, but it's always potentially suboptimal if you don't have a map. On a seed like this, though, where you need more stuff, it's hard to justify skipping, literally anything when there's only a handful of pickups in the entire pool. Specifically, there are 2 pickups remaining that are in Logic. There's one, and it's a keystone.
There's 1 pickup remaining now in Logic, and it has to be some kind of progression. This progression, however, could be pretty weird. Like, it could be, I think it could be Swamp Teleporting.
It could be it could be so many things that it's difficult to describe what all of them are. Could be a skill, could be a teleporter, could be wind restored, could be clean water, ton of things.
Oh, yeah.
Energy cell wouldn't get them anywhere. Could be bash. Lots of stuff. IMRaziel on the left being slightly ahead means that he's going to check the tree first and got Charge Flame. What does Charge Flame open up?
Really only 1 more pickup, and that's the one he will have to out-armor, and IMRaziel is going to get the pickup first just because he was a little ahead. I think it's normally a 100 XP orb, and you need to break a blue wall for that, where the 2 Fronkies are in left glades. And maybe it's wall jump, which will allow them to continue. Maybe it's like a teleporter. it's basically like with the wall jump tree now. This pickup could be many things, and we will have to find out what it is. But it's the only pickup that will get them further progression. It's wall jump.
That pickup is very commonly progression. It is very, very commonly wall jump. I guess just based on the statistics of how wall works. Also very quickly finding Stomp directly afterwards. Stomp, comparable to Feather, doesn't really open up a whole lot by itself, but it's a wonderful skill to have for a lot of places.
And now with 3 keystones, IMRaziel has some keystones. Mattermonkey will also get his 3rd keystone right now. They can't really go far with the keystones now. Like, they could go Spirit Caverns again, but I don't expect them to, especially with having found Stomp, which puts a little more pickups in Logic down in lower Blackroot Burrows.
Well, you mentioned that, but we already see a split. IMRaziel is going to Blackroot, as you mentioned, likely for the very obvious reason that it gets you access to the dash tree, which in this case will be tree number 3, which will have the first clue. In contrast, Mattermonkey dipped back out of the charged flame area sort of manually by running back down, and is going to use wall jump to check a number of pickups and glades.
Oh yeah, they were not able to check these pickups yet. So I guess they could also be progression, because wall jump would be the skill enabling them to go there. So it'll be interesting to see which one of the runners will find progression. Maybe both of them will find another progression. Maybe that's going to lead them to like follow through the area that the other runner did.
We will find out. Yeah, double jump for Matter is something that he might not find it right away, but IMRaziel is going to finish up Blackroot because, of course he is. He has to get to the dash tree. Once he's done with that, unless he finds some very powerful teleporters or something, IMRaziel will almost certainly go back through the wall jump area, since he knows it's unchecked and he knows it's very item dense. So that double jump find will be beneficial to Matter, and it will save him a little bit of time in Blackroot, but I don't think that'll be too impactful for the overall state of the race.
Yeah, it probably won't. They, with only being on 3 keystones so far, he can't yet go all the way through Spirit Caverns. So that could potentially be something that maybe gets him a lead, because he could go for an early grotto play, something like that. But only being on 3 keystones, now he's on 4. It'll be interesting to see if he chooses to continue through the upper area. Maybe since Blackroot is in Logic, he will do that. But looks like he's going for it. Value entry could be something.
By the way, by Matter. He almost died to that projectile. He was still in his invincibility frames, but he is alive. Yeah, and I'm guessing the reason that Mattermonkey did this, apart from checking Valley entrance, and he will be able to check all 3 pickups here in the Valley entrance. Of course, not the long swim, but why would you want to check that anyway? Is that Mattermonkey might be assuming that the logic was going to send them here anyway, and didn't want. Also of note is that Mattermonkey has his double and his wall jump, but he's actually going the long way around rather than taking a shorter path up the tree to get to this experience.
It's not like a huge time loss, and maybe he's a little bit uncomfortable with the method, and maybe he has just forgotten about that. At the moment, finds the mapstone. That's a nice, reminds you of the last seed, is what I'm trying to say. He chooses not to skip the teleporter cutscene. He could potentially skip the cutscene with a save anywhere, but that would mean that he could not get this teleporter. And with the state that the game is in right now, it's probably a good decision to take the teleporter, because it could speed up his way of left side access by quite a lot later on in the seed.
Yeah, IMRaziel, for his part, activated the dash tree, checked the map, and tried to drop down to the cell. Got wind restored. With wind restored, he can use, wind and glide to go check this Frankie Walk experience, and then he'll have a choice to go back down into Blackroot to the area named after him, actually, the IMRaziel No area, or he can go to the denser play, which does seem to be his decision, heading back over to the left.
Yeah, and we also got the first clue on the dash tree that IMRaziel got, but it was just the Guma Seal clue, which apparently is in Valley, so doesn't really give the runners anything in terms of dungeon keys that they need, but could potentially could potentially be something that they want to get.
Yeah, this is interesting, by the way. Mattermonkey not only continued to the Spirit Tree, but is just going to... okay, I thought he was going to go all the way around the Spider Sack. Just wanted the 1 XP... Well, not the 1 XP, but the 1 experience orb up top, and is now going to go down to Blackroot. Did get damaged down to 1 health, though. So Matter had to be just a little bit careful for a moment, but he's all right.
He's on 4 ability points here, so has a lot of ability points, can skip all of these cutscenes. IMRaziel on the left side just found his double jump, so they're kind of evened out on skills right now. I expect Mattermonkey to also find the Wind Restored pickup that IMRaziel got, once he has made his way through Blackwood Burrows, that is. One pickup, however, that IMRaziel is going to check right now is a pickup that Mattermonkey did not check, I don't think. It's the Energy Cell left of the wall jump tree. And if this is something, that could be potentially pretty huge.
It is hot garbage. 57 experience. A good point brought up by Terra in favor of Mattermonkey is that Mattermonkey that death hurts. But apart from that, Mattermonkey will have the option if he goes down the area following the dash tree to use Stomp to sequence break into Grotto early using the Stomp peg. Going into Grotto is actually in logic at the moment, but getting there through that path is not.
And another thing that's also in logic, which IMRaziel has not checked, is some of the pickups in lower Blackwood Burrows by stomping the floor just before the IMRaziel no area. So there could also be something there.
Yeah, there could be. There's not much, but technically, I think there's at least one thing that they could check. Yeah, so IMRaziel at this point over on the left is heading into Spirit Caverns, an area that Mattermonkey has already cleared out. IMRaziel, excuse me, already has 4 keystones, and I know for a fact he'll get at least 1 in this area, maybe 2. Would not be too surprised to see IMRaziel open the door and sort of continue towards the Spider Sack area.
Yeah, with him only being on 3 energy so far, there's no real other way that he could take. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Mattermonkey actually go to the Grotto through the before-mentioned Stomp Bag method, with him having Stomp.
Well, let me ask you this, Spark. What are some of the considerations you think as a runner of the randomizer of going through Spider Sack versus trying maybe a more difficult sequence break into Grotto or something like that?
It would probably be that with me not having 4 energy, that like maybe, though all of Grotto is in logic with what they have, but maybe I would probably think that further progression is in Spider Sack area, and I would not want to miss that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. The biggest downside, I think, of the of going through the Spider Sack area is that it's really for not that many pickups. Thankfully, with double jump and wall jump, it becomes quite a bit faster, but it's still relatively slow compared to somewhere like Grotto, especially when you already have the ability to break blue walls. It's kind of exactly what you described, though. Progression has to be somewhere. It might be all the way along the path down in Grotto, or it could be along that path to get there. There's really no way to know in advance. You have to just play the odds. Yeah,
and if we see this split up that we mentioned from the runners, IMRaziel going through the Spider Sack area, which it looked like he's doing just that, and Mattermonkey, maybe after getting Wind Restored, we will see what he will do. Maybe he will ult R, maybe he will continue through Blackwood Burrows. He will certainly want to keep that, so he will certainly ult R, but what he's going to do after that looks like he's going for the pickup here. He has 3 energy. Maybe he will even attempt the energy glitch at the door. But no, that's not what he's doing. So
well, it's interesting that there are multiple potential breaks into Grotto. To be clear, as I said...
Oh, he could also... No, he could... Oh, could he? He just checked...
He can go to the boulder area and go through it that way, because getting past the boulder is itself a sequence break at the moment.
Yeah, and that's Frankie Walk.
Yeah, good awareness on Matter's experience. This is something that in all skills you do with... you plan it to happen. Given the randomized experience values in the randomizer, you can never really plan a Frankie Walk. You just sort of have to notice that you're at a good experience range and go for it. I think this is a smart play by Matter in this seed, since, as we said, although unintended, Grotto will be reachable in logic anyway, and it's very, very dense.
Needs to get the Frankie to jump. Oh, not ready to die yet by his...
Yeah, Matter forgot to damage it down to 1 health. There it goes.
Okay, now he's got it. And, whoa, that's a pretty close level up. Maybe he even was on exactly 19 experience left to level. But yeah, this is a pretty nice sequence break for him, because there are some pickups here in Death Gauntlet, and he can also get the Grotto Teleporter, which these are things he wouldn't have been able to get through the lower Stomp sequence break.
Yeah, Matter does have to skip some pickups, like he has Stomp, but not enough health to go check that underwater pickup. So he's going to have to either just never come back for these pickups or make another later on. Got a health cell, though. That's nice. Meanwhile, Raziel did do an energy glitch on that 4 energy door, so he was able to... I think he was able to successfully open it.
Yeah, he was. It was just a keystone. So not really too much. Of course, in the last scene, Mattermonkey kind of got screwed by missing 1 keystone, but there's still quite a lot of pickups to get in this seed, and we don't yet know if we will be starved from keystones. So in
there's
general,
a total of... sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just saying in general, you're not too fond of keystones.
Similar to how there are more map stones than you need to activate every map all game, there are more keystones, quite a bit more keystones than you need to activate every key door in the game. Specifically, I think there are a total of 40 keystones spread throughout the world, not entirely randomly, but mostly randomly, with the stipulation that you must be able to open all the doors that you need to in Logic. But like it's unlikely to be super starved.
Yeah, it is. And if you look for something for quite a while, like for the map stones, I was actually surprised that Mattermonkey did not have enough keystones in the last seed. But that's in the past now. One interesting thing that IMRaziel is doing here with his mega energy, mega health that he picked up here, he's checking some pickups that are out of sequence right now. Like these 2 pickups at the Death Gauntlet roof, which Mattermonkey was not able to get because he went through the Death Gauntlet. And IMRaziel has actually stomped, so he can also go through the Death Gauntlet by stomping the ceiling from above now. So that's pretty smart play, actually.
He got the Grotto Teleporter from the health cell. That's kind of a funny location for it, even that Raziel will be able to actually physically touch the Grotto Teleporter very shortly anyway. But yeah, that's smart routing by Raz, and interesting routes into Grotto, which you don't normally see. But I do like that. It is going to cost Raziel for the time being his Swamp Teleporter, but that's something he can get back to pretty easily later on.
We'll pick up the same pickups that Mattermonkey already picked up, so we will really get an idea of what this seed holds when we're watching the right side here. Like, for example, the glide wall check that Mattermonkey is going for now.
Yeah, trying a bit of a double jump trick off the right wall. Nice job. Got bash from up top. It's not the first time I've seen it there. Also dipping down into the water. Almost died, but was able to get out of the water safely. I'm sure Matter will be dropping a save if he didn't have one already. Just rekindled. But yeah, so that bash find is very, very powerful.
So with having found bash, what are the skills that they really need to finish out this seed?
Well, they already have Feather. Charge Jump would be very nice at this point. Dash would be nice, but required. To be honest, I think they can finish the seed with this skill set. Yeah, it's pretty much go mode. I mean, the more the better, right? But this is effectively, as we always like to say, go mode in Ori is fluid. There's a number of skills where it's possible to beat the game, especially in conjunction with various wars. That said, this particular skill set, Bash, Feather, and Double Jump specifically, make a lot of your traversal just a million times easier.
What they would want to have is a little bit more health, especially if they don't find clean water throughout the seed. But that's basically it. Like, the Glide makes the Sorrow play pretty free. They also have Wind Restored to make the Valley play a lot easier.
Well, and technically speaking, with Stomp and Bash, as any all skills runner will tell you, it's possible to make it through the Poison Swim, and there's clean water for Raziel. I was going to say it's possible to make it through the swim with 5 health, or in the randomizer setting, 4 health plus health regen. So if Matter already has health regen, in theory, he might be good to go as far as health. However, Raziel finding that clean water, if Mattermonkey finds it as well, that mitigates that entire problem.
Clean Water was in the Petrified plant at the Mapstone turned it into the Iceless area, so that's probably a pickup that Mattermonkey will check. Like, even if they are in go mode at this point, skill-wise, it still makes sense to just keep checking these pickups that don't really require you to go far off your normal tree clearing route. Because you could, like, for example, find Dash, and that would speed up the seed pack quite a lot.
Yeah, also a very convenient swamp teleporter find just a moment ago. Not too important, but it saves Raziel a bit of time. The big thing right now, well, I was going to say that Mattermonkey has Bash and Raziel does not. That's not going to be a true statement for more than another few seconds. There's Bash for Raziel at the health cell. Also going to stomp down with his Mega Health to get underwater pickup, although he doesn't need Mega Health because I forgot he has Clean Water. Whew. It's interesting to me that Matter is continuing to be so thorough when he already has so many skills.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna mention. Like in the last hit, the mini boss play kind of made sense if you want to phrase it that way. But in this seed, they are probably good. Like they don't know where the dungeon keys are yet. One dungeon key could be in Grotto, and then they would have to search Grotto anyway. So their Spirit Light efficiency, that's pretty nice in order to get Ultra Defense later.
Yeah, totally. But at this point, it's really interesting. We do know where the Gumon Seal is. So far, no clue on either the Water Vein or the Sunstone, so it could be pretty much at almost any other pickup in the game, which means that there still is some precedent for being thorough. And as I said, finding something like Dash or Charge Jump would be pretty powerful finds. That said, in a competitive setting like this, and remember that Raziel is already one game up, the priority, I think, really needs to be do everything I can to go fast, hit all the trees, and win the seed as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think that would be the smart play right here, and it actually looks like Mattermonkey is a little bit ahead just in tree progression at the moment. Of course, there was Clean Water in the Iceless area, and Mattermonkey has not checked that yet, so it's probably not a real lead. Certainly not information-wise.
It's an orthogonal kind of lead. At this point, it's always interesting to see where our runner decides to. Raziel found Climb within the Crushers. I'm unclear if Mattermonkey found that as well. I didn't see him get it.
I think he went through the top route, actually, after getting the energy cell with double jump.
Well, the good news is that with Stomp in their possession, Climb matters quite a bit less. Although all things equal, like I said, the more skills you have, the better. To sort of finish my thought from before, when you have this many skills and you go to an area like double jump and then alt R, it's always an interesting question of where the runner decides to go first. Looks like Mattermonkey is heading towards Swamp, although I'm unclear whether he's going to turn around and go to the Iceless area first.
Raziel, meanwhile... Oh, okay, the stream from Mattermonkey catching up. Raziel, meanwhile, has gotten his 4th tree, so we'll find out what he will go for next. He has already checked like all of Grove, so maybe this will be Swamp entry for him with the skills that he has. Could also be the Blackwood Burrows play.
Yeah, nice job by Bash there, checking number of pickups from Matter. Just for anyone watching, by the way, we are aware that problems. That's not just you, but you know, as streams go, we'll just sort of have to hope that it stays alive, and in the meantime, we'll do our best to keep up with the action.
That's exactly what we are going to do. Mattermonkey is again the first runner to make the Swamp play, and Raziel has not yet checked the Raziel No area. I just remembered, so probably something he's going to check as well. Man, these projectiles look pretty weird for Mattermonkey.
Yeah, well, this is just fascinating. If you look at those skill trackers, Matter and Raz have almost the exact same skills. Raziel's up 1 skill in the form of Climb, but that doesn't really matter at the moment. Raziel is also up Clean Water, although they've activated the same number of maps, and at the moment, activated the same number of trees. Although before too long, Matter's going to get Stomp activated. Raz is going to get the Light Grenade tree activated. If one runner or the other decides to rush trees rather than being thorough, that would be a very important distinction.
It would probably be the right call in a seat like this. Like they have Stomp, they could make the Valley play. They have means of reaching that, and they also have Wind, so they can get like all of left side. And Also, we really need a clue. Like, we have no idea where the dungeon keys are so far. Not really being on the way to the trees.
Yeah, we do need a clue, and it's not going to be this one. Both runners hitting their skill trees at almost exactly the same time. This is only tree number 5, though. Mattermonkey, however, got charge jump from his stomp tree. So that's something that IMRaziel will definitely, with 100% certainty, get before the seed is out. I'm guessing he'll get it sooner rather than later. Like, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to go left side when you have some of these right side trees available.
Yeah, he probably wants to have the second clue before really focusing on valley entry. And his 6th tree will be the stomp tree, as Mattermonkey will probably make the grenade tree play right now. So, oh no, it's actually the grove play. Or the valley entry play, that is.
Yeah, it could be that Matter has stomp, so of course he'll have no problem getting past the barricade that gates access to the light grenade tree. Matter could also do zombie or tricks to get through the laser. Might be the case that he's just gonna wait and maybe he gets dash along the way, which makes some amount of sense.
One pickup that we haven't seen being checked from Mattermonkey is this Brainless XP, which is just XP. Also, IMRaziel has clean water from the reminder from the iceless petrified plant, which Mattermonkey has not gotten yet. So maybe IMRaziel will choose to swim here, though I don't think it's likely because, like we said, he already has all the skills that he really needs. And there's Warmth Return on the mapstone find. Not really
that
important.
was map number 4. That's 1 up from where Mattermonkey in terms of maps. Not that it necessarily matters, but that's just something.
And IMRaziel is approaching his 6th tree right here, so this will be his next clue.
Well, speaking of approaching the 6th tree, Mattermonkey is as well. Mattermonkey is, of course, in the valley area now. Had actually gone off to the left before maybe realizing that his Kuro kill plane is active, and there are a number of ways to skip the Kuro kill plane, but I don't know if it's possible from down there. So Mattermonkey's just going to head up around. Looks like he is beginning to skip pickups. Mattermonkey had a number of checks that he could have grabbed along that path and skipped them.
I just blinked over to the left side for IMRaziel's clue, and it was Water Vein Horu. So after we had a Water Vein, there you can see it again on the left side. After we had a Water Vein Mapstone 9 seed, we now have a Water Vein Horu seed, and it's probably going to be L4.
This is totally fine, right? Totally fine.
Yeah.
Horu, so for people who are less familiar with Ori and the Blind Forest, to give a bit of a technical rundown of Mount Horu, it sucks. It sucks a lot, and you never really want to go there. And that's all you need to know about Mount Horu, I think.
Boy, I do love these technical descriptions from you, Remelios.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why they pay me the big bucks. So, anyway, I don't get paid anything. That was a joke.
So we see Mattermonkey attempting a Terror Break here. He had a save anywhere. Now he's going to die with a charge jump. Hitbox still being active for like three frames or something after a dash. And he can immediately break the stomp floor right there. And now he's already in valley with glide. This should be no problem. His stream is freezing here a little bit again, but now we can see it again. And actually missing keystones has probably saved before that. Please. Yeah, he has. So he can use this to actually key dupe right now, which is a pretty fast key dupe method.
Yeah, well, what's fascinating to me on seeds like this is to sort of break things down, right? The water vein is in Horror, which means that the water vein is completely until they found the sunstone. But of course, these runners don't have the sunstone clue and won't get the sunstone clue until tree 9. To that end, and with this many skills, it'll be interesting to see where Raz and Matter decide to go first as far as clearing out their trees. Specifically, in these kinds of scenarios, you almost always want to go to Misty Woods last. That way, if the Sunstone is in the second half of Misty, you've saved yourself a trip.
It's probably what both of these runners want to do, which would mean that IMRaziel is probably a little bit ahead because he has already gotten his grenade tree. And he's already in Sorrow right now. Whereas if Mattermonkey chooses to go for the climb tree last in Misty Woods, he would have to go to the grenade tree right now.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Mattermonkey, of course, went up to Sorrow and is now going to not all is going to head back down in order to get his feather tree, and then, well, that's the question. What does he do next? Does he go into Misty since he's right here, or does he alt-R and go to Light Grenade first?
Yeah, we will find out shortly. If he chooses to go into Misty, he would have to make sure to check all of these pickups that he can find early through Misty, because I think he can't really get them after having progressed Misty unless he then puts in the Gumosi, which is very slow.
Right, he'd be saving himself small amounts of time by not checking stuff for potentially an enormous time loss. Looks like Mattermonkey is going to go grab the Valid TP saving for additional health, and is, I think, going to go into Misty first, bashing off to the left with the Bash Glide. Yeah, so Matter's going through the first half of Misty. He will not have his Sunstone clue, even when he gets to the climb tree.
And this will be his 8th tree, yeah. So then his Grenade tree will be the final clue. Of course, Sunstone could be in Lost Grove, which would put that ahead, but also would require them to get a Grenade probably. So yeah, let's not hope for that. Well, with Waterwing already being in Horu.
That's the thing. A lot of times we talk about commentary as if really more interested in the worst case scenario than the average case scenario. Statistically, the Sunstone is far more likely to not be in Misty than it is to be in Misty, right? And so it might not matter at all that Mattermonkey is going into Misty before having that Sunstone clue. But I guess it's either a calculated gamble or it's just a bit of an oversight that hopefully won't come back to bite him. I really hope it doesn't, because retraversing Misty is painful.
If I were to make a guess where the Sunstone is, I would probably go with Sorrow, actually, because there's a lot of pickups in Sorrow, and might even be something like a vanilla Sunstone. They have Glide.
I'm sorry, I want to interrupt. Mattermonkey is definitely skipping a lot of pickups in Misty. So this is what you described, Spark. It's potentially extremely risky. We won't know until we get the Sunstone clue just how risky it was.
And we will get it pretty shortly, because IMRaziel is making sure to grab this Valley Teleporter before making his way to Misty. He gets the Teleporter because, of course, he might actually need that if, for example, he finds out Sunstone is in Valley. Then having the Valley Teleporter would be a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's right. So we now have both runners in the same place. Mattermonkey, of course, for him, this is tree 8, so he doesn't have the clue yet, because the Matter hasn't been to the Light Grenade tree. IMRaziel will get his Sunstone clue when he gets there. Along the way, he's presumably going to check, I have to imagine, every single pickup along the way.
Yeah, that's probably the right call. It's, in the end, if Sunstone is not in Misty, it loses you only a little bit of time. So Mattermonkey choosing to go for that gamble. I'm hoping for his sake that it does not turn out to be in Misty, the Sunstone that is. But we are about to
we will see. And of course, as we mentioned before, Mattermonkey, part of his decision making in going into Misty, not to harp on the point too much, but he did save himself, probably 25 or 30 seconds of moving around and teleporting that Mattermonkey would have had to spend alt-Ring and going back over there for the chance that the Sunstone is in Misty. It's looking at the moment like Mattermonkey is likely going to get to his tree before IMRaziel gets to his. And the only reason that matters is that from our viewing perspective, we get to see where the Sunstone clue is.
Mattermonkey had enough ability points to level Ultra Defense here, but could not really level it up because he kind of needed 2 ability points to make this zombie Ori play that he executed nicely. And now he has 1 more ability point in order to skip the cutscene. Wow, okay, that is rough. On the left side, IMRaziel just found Dash in Misty Woods. So that's a pickup that Mattermonkey is probably not going to get.
Oh, he's the only way he gets that is if the Sunstone's in Misty and he goes back through it, at which point he will have already lost a lot of time. Not have. So very good news for IMRaziel.
Like that's not even what we were talking about with potentially being risky to check all the pickups. There is the Sunstone Valley on the left side for IMRaziel.
I would say breathe a sigh of relief. For Mattermonkey, of course, he doesn't know it until right about now when his thing shows up. My now might have been off with stream delay, but you get the idea. So with Valley, Valley entry is already checked. As you said, could be grenade gated. But there are a number of pickups in Lower Valley and along the way to Forlorn that I'm sure these runners are going to check first, starting with Raziel.
Yeah, it's not likely that it's gonna be the grenade gated pickup. There's a lot of pickups in Sorrow. There it is already. I think I've already seen that one. Probably not in this seed, but it feels like it was in one seed that we had.
So what happens now? Because in most seeds, you get to all the trees and you get your sunstone and you're like, we're on to the end and we do door warp. That might be the case, but it won't be to finish the game. The water vein is still in Mount Horu. And there are a few pickups in Mount Horu. You know, it takes a while to get there, but once you're at Mount Horu, there are a few pickups you can check relatively quickly, and then most of them take a lot longer. Never mind the fact that most runners, myself included, pretty much never ever do Horu, right? Like, when's the last time you've really cleared out Horu?
Well, first of all, only when I'm playing Randomizer, and then it's been quite a while.
Right, and so I'm sure these runners know what they're doing, but far less comfortable with Horu than other areas of the game.
A good thing is that they do have Stomp, because that's something that I tended to forget with my first few Horu seeds, that you actually need Stomp in order to progress through some of these rooms. Like, there's no way to get around it. So with both of these runners having Stomp, at least they don't have to worry about that. And it looks like Mattermonkey is going to find his Sunstone here pretty shortly, but IMRaziel has opened up like probably a 2-minute lead or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Mattermonkey is about to find the sun. There it is. But of course, Raziel also has dash. Raziel is going to... the first thing that Raziel did upon entering Mount Horu is he backed up his save. The reason is that Raziel wants to do a door to head down to the bottom of this area and check what we usually consider to be sort of a meme pickup, right? The validation XP. But in this seed, it could be the water vein. And you can check this door up experience much more quickly, if you can get door up, that is, then you can climb up and check a lot of the others.
And there's the successful door warp. Will check the validation pickup shortly with his just health regeneration. Now he's actually loading the backup save. Has he already done the save drop? No, he's not. So he's setting up for the second kind of pickup check that you can do here out of sequence with performing the save drop. Mattermonkey finally picks up his clean water now on his way to Horu.
Yeah, it's not, and so Raz is going to have to load his backup save again. Intelligent job to make the backup save, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be screwed, I think, because you could come back to the front door of Horu, but you'd lose a lot of time. With that, though, it's not the easy pickups in Horu, which means it's going to be the hard ones. Whether it's the hard ones or the really hard ones remains to be seen.
One thing that's good is that in this seed, Mattermonkey has charge jump. So that's pretty nice to have for progression through Horu. And that's not going to be something that puts him behind. He's really only missing climb. Of course, dash as well, but you can't really rocket jump through Horu that much.
Yeah, another thing is that Mattermonkey is actually not going straight to Mount Horu. I think that Matter maybe wants the swamp teleporter first, which Raziel actually picked up in an item that was conveniently nearby. Like, check out Mattermonkey. There's the swamp teleporter after he went all the way over there. So he's sort of waving his mouse around. Yeah, that mouse movement certainly was a reaction for the teleporter. IMRaziel is giving us a little bit of lore on the left side here. It's gonna break the bridge before Horu. And yeah, Mattermonkey is going to take that bridge soon and then also making his way to Horu. Will probably do the same out-of-sequence pickup checks that IMRaziel did. If he, for whatever reason, chooses not to do, that would kind of catch him up a little bit. Yeah, so let's focus on IMRaziel. This is a rough for the runners, potentially, but sort of a treat, I think, from a viewing perspective, because you never get to see this area. So we get the rare pleasure of a Horu commentary. There are 3 pickups in R1. There was an experience orb that IMRaziel just passed by. There's also a hidden map stone, which in this case was just extra air dash, and there's a hidden energy cell over to the right. So far, IMRaziel has only checked one of those 3, but he's about to check the second one, I'm sure. Yeah, he's setting up for it, and will this be the water vein? It won't. Energy is always nice, but at this point, he would much rather find the water vein. On the right side, Mattermonkey is setting up for his door drop, and does not get it yet. IMRaziel also took a few tries here.
But with the Waterway not being in the first room on the right side, there's not a lot of pickups that are left on the right side right now, actually.
Well, there's a number of pickups in the other rooms. The thing about Mount Horror is that for whatever reason, there are far more pickups. Raziel is skipping a pickup.
He has checked the pickup on the way in.
Oh, did he?
It was just experience, I'm pretty sure, yeah. He died to the Crusher.
Boy, I hope you're right. Okay, as long as Raziel knows. All right, we're safe. That was scary. Anyway, there are far more pickups on the 4 rooms on the right than the 4 rooms on the left, although there are some pickups in L4. So to that end, if you're playing the odds, which is the only thing you can do in a seed like this, it makes a lot more sense to go right side and clear all 4 right side rooms before doing any of the left side rooms, which is probably what we're going to see Raziel do.
It's certainly the right play by playing the odds. Of course, in a randomizer, you could go for a reasoning like, yeah, I'm expecting my opponent to check the right side pickups first, so I'm going to check the left side pickups that will maybe give me an edge.
Yeah, unless you're metagaming, there's no reason to...
Yeah, no, there's not. And Mattermonkey is not going for the pickup, making the smart play, like you said, playing the odds here, with there being more pickups on the right side.
Yeah, Raziel did take a death, by the way. In this room, you have to take out elemental. It's a room that really puts to the test your ability to bash and control your movement, or if you're a filthy cheating speedrunner, just double bash everything and make your life a little bit easier. Yeah, not too easy to move through this room efficiently. I think that should do it for all the elementals, though.
Yeah, looks like the little wall over him is going to break, and this is why we need Stomp in order to progress through Horror, because stomping this back in order to drop the rock, in order to get rid of the lava, is only possible with Stomp.
Well, here we go. Raz has now finished 2 out of 4, or 1/2 of the rooms on the right side of the map. He's just going to continue down to R3 next. Of course, in all of these rooms, you have to clear out the lava in order to allow yourself access to the rooms after that. So Mattermonkey at this point definitely has a deficit to build up and does seem to be going along the same path as his opponent, but Raziel is just in the lead, although getting bodied a little bit by some of the fiery bits in this zone.
It is nice that he has his climb in combination with charge jump. That's something which Mattermonkey cannot do, which is probably making his Horror traversal a little bit harder. Horror is a pretty tough area to go through, especially with us speedrunners not really being used to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we've already seen Raziel take an... and I think that's just primarily due to, and another death there, just primarily due to not exactly being used to the way that things work. In fact, Raziel might have to pause and pull his lever to bring this thing back down, because Raz kind of hesitated even getting on this thing. All right, there he got around.
Nice job still making it up there. Now, with Climb, this is also a little bit easier for him than it is going to be for Mattermonkey, because he can just kind of chill on the wall after he jumped around. Mattermonkey will have to do a little bit of double jumping, yeah, something like that.
Well, and it occurs to me that we are on... and have not watched a lot of Ori. Even for people who've maybe only been sort of cursorily familiar with Ori, it occurs to me that many of you may have never seen Horror before. So this is Mount Horror. It's slow and not very dense. For example, Raziel's single pickup, which is a plant off to the right side. It's still not the water vein. The good thing is that R4 has like 2 or 3 pickups in it. I don't remember.
And he can also, I believe, now check the lower pickup on the far lower right in Horror with having got rid of all the lava.
I think that's correct. Hopefully Raziel knows whether it's correct. Yeah, so again, at the moment, kind of just keep all eyes over on the left. You should watch what Matter's doing as well, because it's cool. But like, Raziel will be the one breaking new ground. Not that first pickup. Is actually going to not go up top either, since Raz does need the experience orb that's up top here. Also did not make a save. Nice charge jump, though. Charge dash, I mean.
It was a pretty early stomp cancel. Like, yeah, I was worried for something like that to happen there. You can charge dash through lasers, as Raziel is showing here. And yeah, that's basically enabling you to get to this pickup not really the intended way.
Yeah, that time Raziel dropped the save to save himself. The return trip did get his charge dash that time, but died. Reminder that lasers in the world of of Ori are only suggestions. Here, Raz is going to try again for this pickup. It's still not the water vein. So with this, Raziel is going to have to... actually, I guess he doesn't really have to bother dropping the lava in this room. He's already checked the down below pickups, hasn't he? Although he could check that one pickup off to the left, as you said.
Oh yeah, that's probably what he's going to do. And now on the right side, Mattermonkey has to do this little platform manipulation kind of thing where we can see him doing double jumps instead of just hanging onto the wall. But this looks pretty well executed, and he should be... Oh, yes, he's fine. Okay. So very nicely done by him.
Yeah, meanwhile, Raziel has now finished at least pulling the lava. There's the water vein. Bottom of R4. So that's something that will take Mattermonkey a little bit of time to reach. Matter's also a little bit stuck trying to get this this block out of position. He's going to have to go to the right and pull it instead. Yeah, so Raz is definitely in the lead, just has to go through Ginso. Doesn't have any reason to check any pickups anymore. It's looking like Raziel's almost certainly going to win this, especially because Raziel still has dash and Mattermonkey doesn't.
Yeah, he did fail to skip this cutscene here, but that's not gonna lose him the race. Like you said, Ramirez, having dash really speeds up the last instances in this seed. So with Mattermonkey still having to find the water vein, that's quite a huge lead for Raziel. But just for that water vein pickup, could have been much worse. So
it certainly could have been. Well, with this, Matter is now entering his R4. The water vein is the bottom pickup, which I think you can check in advance. Although Mattermonkey might not know that. I'm not 100% certain. As I said, I never ever do Mount Horu. So 2 more pickups that Matter will be checking in this room. The water vein will be the second one. Also, without dash, Mattermonkey's going to have a harder checking all stuff.
Oh yeah, he has to do this kind of in the intended way, with bashing this rock in order to get rid of these. Are they lasers? Or are they lava pillars? Or are they maybe like a crossing of both? I'm not really sure. But these pillars that are pretty deadly.
Hard to say. Honestly, I don't know that I've seen this room done casually. About 3.5 years.
Yeah, I would have to think how to do this casually. Like, he's double bashing it. That's certainly not the casual method.
Yeah, well, without Raziel has made it all the way up the king. Like, we didn't even almost bother to commentate it because Raziel is just going to make it look like an absolute breeze. With that, Raziel is going to go back to Horu, which for once is not the first time that we're seeing the area. And yeah, Raz is just going to get to do his door up for a second time, and then he'll pretty much be out of there.
Nice job for Mattermonkey making it through the laser and actually bash him back again. You can potentially die to the laser by kind of not bashing in the right direction or something, because the boulder is not pretending... does not get the lava away from you. So he will fight his water vein shortly here, but Raziel is already on his way to Horu again, and he's going for the final escape now. We'll have to door warp again. Maybe this time it will be a first try for him.
Yeah, all we'll be looking for here is, you know, can Mattermonkey finish things out strong, since Raziel has all taken the victory. Did Mattermonkey miss the pickup at the bottom of R4?
Looks like he did.
He may not realize that it's there. That's really bad. Mattermonkey it will take him a long time to finish L4, and he still won't get the water vein. That's the good news, if there is good news in this situation, is that Raziel was already in the lead, so that mistake didn't lose Matter the race. But that's very, very costly.
Yeah, still not something that you really want to have happen to you. And it could be nerves. It could be really many things that prompted him to kind of forget about that pickup. But this means that we see a little bit more horror, at least.
Yeah, let's focus on I want to focus on Raziel as he finishes things out. There's not really a whole lot to say about this escape sequence, since it's going to be sort of child's play for Raziel. I think at this point, he cannot do a grenade jump without a grenade, the one skill that he hasn't found. So pull off a nice clean fish stretch, didn't take any damage from the Sigma Rock, and he is out. So that's going to be GG to IMRaziel, not only on this game, but on winning the best of 3 with his second victory and advancing further along in the bracket.
Has been showing us quite an impressive performance here with the water vein in pretty interesting locations in both of these seeds, actually, and still managing to finish the seeds rather quickly. So he's a force to be reckoned with throughout the brackets, certainly.
Definitely. Anyway, Mattermonkey, unfortunately, as we said, missed the water vein in our over to the in this room. You're meant to stomp that peg, and then the laser starts spinning around, and it's this puzzle that tends to kill you a lot. Turns out you can stomp to just move the rock instead. There are like, I think there are almost no pickups on the left side. There's like 2 or maybe 3 in L4. I don't know if there are any pickups in the other 3 rooms. This might even be one instance where I, look for someone in chat to correct me on that, because I'm actually not certain.
Yeah, there's the one on the far left in L4, then there's the one in the bottom. And that might actually be it.
We will see. Raz has finished with a time of 49:43. What a rather ridiculous pair of seeds in terms of those water vein locations. Matter, by the way, has typed a GG and SRL where that he's. Otherwise, though, solid performance by IMRaziel. He'll be advancing. We don't know who he's faced yet, because he'll be facing the winner of Cleanfell and Ushepti when that match happens. But one way or another, he'll be advancing to the round of. Is that the round of 8? I think.
Quarterfinals. Let's just say quarterfinals.
Sure.
And Brazil also managing in the SRL chat. He described both of these seats as painful, and I couldn't agree more. The water vein location were pretty painful.
They absolutely were. Anyway, though, Mattermonkey is continuing along. I believe he's now going to, this is L4. He's going to drop down and check a pickup along the left side as well, which of course is not the water vein, because the water vein is over on the right side. But there are a number of pickups in L4. What I'm curious to see, once Mattermonkey checks these, and we know he's not going to get the water vein, of course, is he going to realize that there was a pickup he missed over on the right? And if so, how long is it going to take him to come to that realization?
Well, he will realize that there was a pickup that he missed, but it will be tough to remember which of these 8 rooms it's in which of these 8 rooms it is.
I do enjoy seeing these rooms. Of course, it's not necessarily the ideal scenario in which to see them. You can see actually the one more experience pickup down below Mattermonkey. He can't check it quite yet. Just has to, I think, lower the lava a little bit more. 3 stomps on this bad boy and down it goes. So Mattermonkey, for his part, is probably thinking, water vein is definitely to my right. I'm going to get it very shortly. Matter had actually typed GG. That's actually incredible. So he thinks, if I had to guess, he thinks IMRaziel had to do all of this. Which IMRaziel's time is still impressive, but like if he had gotten that time and also had to do L4, that would be even more impressive.
It certainly wouldn't. That's only experience. Mattermonkey was trying to show off a little non-killing floor. Now he's looking, because that was the last pickup. He probably does not have the skill level which would show him the pickups.
Yep, and this was kind of the fear. Whenever you see a randomizer runner checking their map, they're not admiring the producing. They're trying to remember what they've missed. The hard part being that Ori's map, by default, doesn't show you very much. Yep, there's Mattermonkey seeing his map. He knows he's circling with his mouse. He knows he's checked the other 2 already and intentionally safe scummed them, but not in R4. So it's nice that Mattermonkey had enough ability points to level up the purple tree enough to see that pickup. Or else that might have been a worse situation to be in.
So he's making immediate play for that's R4, right? These rooms. Mm-hmm. And there's the pickup. It's the water vein. Now he
again, silver lining is that Matter already lost, right? So like that mistake didn't lose him the race. So it doesn't feel good, but it didn't change the outcome. You know what I mean? That said, Matter now knows that he did the whole left side. I guess you can chalk it up to a learning experience if you want to.
Yeah, I think probably the sheer fact that he knows that he probably would have lost the race anyway makes it so that he can actually laugh a little bit about having forgotten that pickup. So he will just finish out the seed strongly here for us now. Still not having dash, so that's making him quite a lot slower than IMRaziel, but he has still a pretty good time in comparison to him.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we will be interviewing IMRaziel, not quite yet, because we're going to wait until Matter finishes and then hope. But just an FYI to everyone, we will be doing some interviews once Matter finishes up, which won't take him long at this point.
No, he only has to get bash free. There's no reason to check any of these pickups on his way either. Like, it could probably be Grenade. That's the only pickup that IMRaziel has not gotten, but that wouldn't speed up anything. Mattermonkey could also not Grenade jump with it.
That's true. Pretty astonishing water vein locations. And this seed as well was just rather slow for quite some time. I don't think that bash shot from Matter is going to hit. It was just very slightly off. But yeah, the seed started somewhat slow, forcing map checks and then charge flames before giving them wall jump. Things didn't really open up for a little while until bash was found in the glide vault, and then to a lesser extent when IMRaziel found dash and charge jump. That really made his movement very smooth.
He has to wait on the door here, choosing to do some charge jump, stomp things. He has enough keystones. He probably checked this time. And now he's going for the bash tree, and then it's just the final escape that's left. We'll probably be able to still finish this out sub or maybe not. It's gonna be without having dash. We will see.
We will see. It'll come down partially to door warp. Of course, Matter, as IMRaziel did, has already done door warp. I will say, I mean, it was nice for me to see how Matter and Raz managed going to Mount Horu. It comes up so infrequently. For example, if the Gumon seal is in Mount Horu, it very rarely matters because you can usually either not go to Forlorn or find the Forlorn 2P or something. It's only when the water vein is in Horu that you're forced to go there. And even then, the water vein could have been at the validation XP, at which point they wouldn't have had to climb and do all the dirty work that they had to do. So it's interesting to see how they both made it through those rooms, given that they probably haven't done it in quite some time.
Interesting set of seats in general for these two. Like the Water Vein in Mapstone 9 technically also was like a little bit of a horror seat. They of course did not have to do the rooms, but they did have to go to horror, so they did have to find the Sunstone before that. Which means that they also did have to like kind of gamble for the Sunstone to be in Misty or Sorrow, and they could not really get the clue before that. I guess it's always tough with a seed like that, because you will have to do some decisions which could potentially be very wrong.
Yeah, Matter almost took a little bit of a dip into the lava, since the cutscene that plays when you go into R1 does actually kill the bridge. It's not just a cutscene; it also kills the bridge in real life. Interesting to even see this opening area. Looks like Matter sort of in, since he knows he's already lost, is actually going to go kill the mini boss. Something that we used to do back in the vanilla version of this game, because door bit of trivia did not exist in the vanilla version of the game for whatever reason, but it does now. Taking out this mini boss is a bit of an art form. Sometimes it's sort of abstract art, but it's art nonetheless.
You can get a little bit of help from the right side. Yeah, like that. with the shots from the other mortar worms, and with him not having to safe drop down here, it's probably only a few seconds slower than the door would have been, and that's a first try door. So this decision is just more like convenient for him probably at this point, because the lava was already gone.
Yeah, so Matter is starting his final escape. It's going to be a breeze. We barely even need to talk about it, but we can sort of see how Matter manages. Matter is going to have to use most likely Charge Flame to break his Charge Flame and Stomp to break his barricades, whereas IMRaziel had the availability to either use Charge Dashes or climb Charge Jumps. So that's one difference, I suppose.
Also, he kind of has to jump around a lot here. He does not have dash. It actually looks so slow doing this escape without dash, but that's something you have to do quite often in Randomizer.
Imagine vanilla speedruns when dash didn't exist.
Ooh, I can't
It's a very
even
different
imagine.
time. A lot more bash glides. I'll say that much. A lot more bash glides. Matter does have clean water IMRaziel since it was in a pretty readily available spot. Thankfully, Matter does have charge jump as opposed to last seed where he missed it.
Yeah, he cannot do the fish threat, so he will have to charge jump up through the left wall and then bash these rocks. And now he's through. That's a GG for Mattermonkey, just barely over an hour because he could not do the final grenade jump.
Rough seeds, to be honest, but managed well. As I said, we will be getting that interview. IMRaziel, once Matter finishes up and everyone can catch their breath for 5 seconds, and then we'll check with Mattermonkey as well.
Yep, so we're just waiting for him to finish holding right, I guess. It's still going to be about 40 seconds. And yeah, I'm really interesting to...
not too thrilling.
Really interested to hear what our runners have to say about these seeds, because I would probably have to say a lot about them. Like, we've said a lot about them in our commentary.
We will find out. I guess this is where we can mention seeding one more time. IMRaziel was the expected to win, although of course the seedings aren't as meaningful as they are in a traditional tournament, since this is randomizer and there's a lot of randomness and luck involved. But even so, good performance by both. Matter is finished up with a final time of 1 hour and 24 seconds.
GG again. Brazil just wrote in Ezra chat that his brain hurts. We can probably ask him about that in the interview then.
Sure. Well, I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull in IMRaziel right now, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey Raz, GG.
Thank you.
So just before we ask anything specific, just tell me about the seeds. What did you think of the water vein locations?
I gotta have a word with Sigma. That was just too painful.
Yeah, I think I've caught people in chat also having a word with Sigma. Man,
Well,
both of these seeds.
Yeah, more to the point, in the first seed... Wait, before I continue. Hey, GG Mattermonkey.
Hello. Oh.
Hello, GG. I had just asked IMRaziel what he thought of those seeds, and specifically the water vein locations. How did you feel about them, Matter?
I mean, on the one hand, they were awful. On the other hand, I feel like if we got seeds that weren't awful, I would have stood even less of a chance. But I lost either way, so, you know. Yeah.
They were certainly unusual seeds, and not the easiest. To go back to you, IMRaziel, though, and to go first game, of course, the clue was water vein on Mapstone 9. Given that, how did you decide to route around the world, especially when you were searching for mapstones?
So let me think back about that. So I remember that I took a decision to actually skip, because that's kind of an area that you don't want to have to go back to, especially since I still had a few trees to go to. Then, I mean, of course, I always, I never thought it would actually be Mapstone 9. When I didn't get it on, I think Mapstone 5 or 6, and I started to think about, because I did missed it before, and and I altered it at the climb tree, and I was starting to think, I was just trying to search for mapstones, trying to go back to areas that had still some good amount of pickups, and I was starting to think, oh, what if, second half of Misty were like 3 mapstones? So that was actually quite painful. And then when I got the final mapstone, I thought, okay, I mean that's a mapstone that he probably got already, but he didn't finish yet. So I don't know. It was really stressful to do a Watervein mapstone 9 seed.
Sure. Well, Spark, I think I'll toss to you for a next question.
Sure. I have one other question for game 1 for Mattermonkey, actually. You also had to go through this, let's call it horrible Watervein location, finding 9 mapstones and putting all of them in. And after that, you made the play for Ginzo, and you had to find out at the door at Ginzo that you were only on 3 keystones. So I guess kind of just did you forget that in all of the stress? Like, what were your thinkings about that?
I didn't realize I didn't have enough until I tried to put them in the door.
Yeah, but you did remember the key duplication, so that's one nice thing. But it's pretty slow. So with IMRaziel mentioning that mapstone find, that he thought that oh boy, he would have probably gotten that. Did you think that the key dupe in Ginzo maybe lost you the race because IMRaziel still hadn't finished either?
Well, in hindsight, it probably didn't, because there was a 3-minute gap, but it didn't feel good while I was doing it, no.
Understandable. Well, I have another question for you, Mattermonkey, and again, I don't mean to dwell on the negative, but in the second race, that Watervein was in that bottom pickup in R4, something that you skipped the first time. So my question to you is, when's the last time you actually had to full clear Horu in a randomizer seed?
Basically, never. I completely forgot that pickup existed, which cost me quite a lot of time.
For the record, I also haven't had to full clear in 100 years, so I can sympathize with that. Anyway, back to you then, IMRaziel. I guess something else I'm curious about in the second race is you had pretty much go mode skills pretty early on, including bash and feather and all that. Did you ever consider explicitly searching for more skills as you went, or were you pretty much only searching for mapstones as you went? Was there anything you really wanted to find?
For race 2?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm mixing the 2 seeds together and messing up my question.
Well, you can imagine how I feel after playing those 2 seeds.
Yeah. So I guess those seeds were pretty insane. Looking forward to the future, IMRaziel, you will be facing the winner of Ushebti and Cleanfell. How do you feel about either of those potential matchups?
Well, I think playing Randomizer in the bracket, I mean, it can always go either way. But I still feel pretty confident that in a best of 3 I can win, unless I get rando debuts. I mean, if I get straight up seeds really easy seeds, I will win for sure. Otherwise, if I get seeds like this one, yeah, it might go either way. But hopefully, in a best of 3, I can still win the 2 games.
Okay, so we will find out how you will perform in these races shortly. And one last question for Mattermonkey. You are out of the tournament now, so I guess could you give us kind of a summary of how did you feel about your overall performance throughout the tournament? You have made it into the bracket, at least.
Well, I made it a lot further than I thought I would. I was when I started, I was kind of expecting to just do the Swiss and then get eliminated, but I didn't. And then I won a best of 3. You know, it's a lot better than I was expecting.
Well, you have played quite a lot of Randomizer, so also following up on that, what are your future plans with Ori and especially the Randomizer? Like, there's a 3.0 coming up.
I'm gonna for Ori and Gen, I might do some regular non-randomizer categories, or I might not. What I will do is the weekly randomizer races once they start back up after the tournament. You know, that would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I'll probably join you on those.
Yeah, well, GG to both of you on some very seeds. And thank you for talking with us.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, that will do it for the moment, but there is more Ori Rando coming up on Speed Gaming, not immediately, but in about an hour from now. Sigma and Terra are going to have their Game 3. Yesterday, the two of them faced off and went 1-1. And so this is the final Game 3 out of their best of 3 series. So if you want to see more Ori Rando, make sure to come back to this channel in about an hour. In the meantime, though, Spark, it was a pleasure commentating with you.
Yeah, I had a very, very much fun commentating these seats. They were tough seats, but yeah, commentating was pretty fun. Thank you to Grimminus.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. And thank you to Chicken Supreme and Jay Halcyon and Skull Blocka for trucking things. And thank you to Terra for restreaming. Terra, you need to go take a break and then go fight Sigma.
Yeah,
we will see you all
Terra.
in like an hour.